You ever watch like a YouTuber or some other content creator and they come out as trans? Maybe you felt it was cringe or that you lost a personal connection with them after they changed. Or maybe you were cool with it. Some may even shift their content slightly and get less views. I've observed this happen sometimes, and I'm curious if my thoughts are true. I'm wondering, do trans YouTubers lose viewership after they come out? I wrote a program and researched every trans YouTuber I could find to figure that out. Let's go! EX Studios, or Digi, formerly known as Digibro, formerly known as Digibrony, run by Trixie Lulamoon, the traveling magician. Trixie the Golden Witch, yeah. She did analysis videos on media, of which she is most known for anime, like Sword Art Online Sucks series.
Since beginning my transition, I have attempted in many ways to communicate what I am going through and to create content out of my emotional experiences. I was unable to connect with a lot of my audience, which comes to me primarily for anime analysis content. In recent months, I moved some friends in to live with and work with me, and so we launched the Void Gazers variety show and Void Tracers travel vlog series, as well as releasing music videos for our various projects together, and then rebooting this channel under the moniker of Yig Studio. But I really want to emphasize that I am not an anime analysis channel. That's not what I do. That's not who I am. I'm just like to do it sometimes.
She has privated the vast majority of her content after coming out, which she said to archive their channel.
Anything that you want preserved as is going to be on you to archive.
Which I actually did, but I did not scrape the information like the view count, so unfortunately we'll have incomplete data to go off of. So we will use what she has left on her channel. The video, The Most Underrated Anime of All Time, is the closest video I could find that was near the date of Befriending the Internet, where she came out in a multi-part, multi-hour audio. Anyway, I'm about to show a bar graph. The further to the right it is, the more recent. The higher it is, the more views it got. Also, the bar highlighted indicates when somebody comes out. Sometimes I will average out the views between a number of videos to make the graph easier to parse. As you can see, it's quite the drop. We can probably attribute the fall in viewership to her changing her content style, but there are other factors which may have also made it worse. For one, being so early in transition, it's very tough to make the shift from passing as female after presenting as male for so long. While she used to show themselves before, it became a lot more predominant on her main channel. They also switched to an overfull voice for a while.
Even at one point, pitching up her voice artificially.
You are changing, and there's nothing you can do about
Before
it.
switching back to their old voice. Trixie had actually landed on a good femme voice, I think, or at least a good foundation for one in an audiobook.
It wasn't until I'd gotten into the throes of puberty some 4 years later that I became restless enough to give it purpose.
I don't know why they don't just go for that voice, honestly. It's not that bad. Voice switching is harsh because viewers will have become acquainted with the old one, and so it sounds jarring to hear it in another mode. So I understand why it's so tempting to give up and go back to the old one. It's what you're already used to, and people like it. But it's hard to say for sure whether it was purely her transition that tanked the channel, as it was more likely to be the privating of her old videos and switching to be a rap channel. Though she did come back to rants and privated her music eventually. Quite the mess. So, let's look at some channels which didn't change the channel topic or private a ton of videos and see how they did. Leadhead. She too does analysis, except it's about games, like Valve games, but not always. I love her content for the most part. Check her out. Post coming out, she started showing herself more, whereas before, she never did to my recollection. Her voice has gotten smaller in size and more feminine inflection, which, in my opinion, is an improvement.
This is a re-upload of a video that originally went live on August 19th, 2020. Yesterday I found out that the developer of this game, and someone who had been very kind...
I'm firmly of the belief that every waffle waitress, every fast food worker, every truck driver, and hey, every barista has something to teach you.
Though you might not fully classify it as feminine, the difference between the old and new is pretty decent. But this voice change has caused her a bit of trouble.
Huge amount of my subscribers instantly found out that I was trans. I lost about 10,000 subscribers in 2 or 3 days. That video also brought in some new people, so many that within a couple weeks I had more than made up for the immediate loss in subscribers. I felt compelled to go all out with my femme voice, which obviously still has a long ways to go, because it's both what I wanted to do and what these people who were so affected by that video wanted me to continue pursuing. Personally, I was fine with it, even if it still sounds a bit awkward and less refined than my old narration voice, but, well, I started losing subscribers with each video in which I tried to showcase my voice training. People would notice that I sound different and go down to the comments, see that it was because I'm trans, and unsubscribe, sometimes leaving a nasty comment of their own before they go out the door. Here on YouTube, I feel so pressured to push my voice to its limit that it does end up sounding kind of forced, and seemingly I only do this to try and appease the transphobes, when in reality it's just more cause for them to unsubscribe. I'd catch myself literally banging my head against my desk while recording voiceovers because I didn't sound femme enough, or I sounded too femme too fast, or whatever.
Terrible. Well, let's see how our views got affected. Yeah, that's not great. Though, they had some low months in the past, so maybe the views will come back up. I hope so. 2 is a fluke, right? Let's try another gaming-focused channel. Jim Sterling. They are non-binary. I think they've changed their voice a tiny bit.
To another edition of the Gymquisition with myself, person Belle Delphine, selling her dirty bathwater as Gamer Girl Water.
Kinda like the last one. They pretty much have always shown themselves on camera too.
But the fact of the matter is this. I did indeed lose 2,000 subs at once the exact day I wore a fucking wig and lipstick to work, and did every single video post since.
Oh wow, yeah. Looks like that last one, but a lot more stable of a rise. You had another drop. That sucks. Another one. Philosophy Tube covers, well, philosophy, sometimes politics. I like some of her videos. Her coming out, she looked and sounded stellar. I rate this coming out as pretty high tier for a YouTuber. It's clear she was only male presenting for the channel prior. Featured herself on a camera a ton, both pre and post coming out. Let's see how it went. This looks a lot more stable, but it still has an upward trend and a declining trend. You'll notice that it seems to be pretty common that the coming out video has a jump of views and then a fall. Certainly draws attention, I guess. Well, we don't have a lot of data on those who came out a long time ago to see if their channel has recovered. But here's one. Lily and Mikaila Orchard were My Little Pony content creators, and then a cartoon analysis channel once, MLP died.
Hi everyone, please support our videos on Patreon. The link's at the end of the video and in the down there part.
I'm going to be talking about gay rep today.
What? Oh, it's because it's Mikaila's voice and the other is Lily. Mikaila is Lily's wife, which is confusing because Lily's voice will appear with Mikaila's model, which is supposed to indicate who wrote the script. Once you know, it makes sense, but it is sort of confusing. Unlike the others, they never show themselves, instead go for an avatar like me. Good choice. They've gone through some drama over the years, and I have no idea about it or how it factors in. Anyway, they came out a long time ago.
Well, I guess I brought this upon myself. Well, okay then, that's why. Bye!
Are they gone?
Let's see how it went. Yeah, the channel seemed to decline pretty hard. Then it built up back up and died even harder. Well, best of luck, you two. Coming out as trans can sometimes affect a channel, so what about somebody who was already presenting as their gender, the only change being simply the information that they are not cis? Well, there's NikkiTutorials, a makeup channel. She was blackmailed into coming out.
I have been blackmailed by people that wanted to leak my story to the press. And at first, it was frightening. It was frightening to know that there are people out there that are so evil that they can't respect someone's true identity. It is vile and it is gross. And I know you are watching this. They said they wanted to leak it because I'm lying, or that I don't want to tell my truth, or because they feel like I'm too scared for people to know who I truly am. I'm not scared.
Terrible. Sounds stressful as heck. Sorry you had to go through that. Here's the numbers. Another site slogged downward. Still doing okay, I think, though. For contrast, here's someone who keeps it on the down low, slowly transitioned and deleted their old videos. Doesn't mention being trans anymore. Great growth. There's another non-binary I have in mind, besides Jim Sterling. I don't think they're taking hormones. They're thought slime. Wait. Thought blob? Thought slime? They stole my name. I should probably come up with a better YouTube name. They have stayed stable since coming out. Their viewer base is very progressive considering the left-leaning content they cover. Certainly wouldn't say it's a growth. Well, okay, coming out usually has a dip or decline. How about those who were open to begin with? A ton of those. Typically they have good growth. Here's like a ton of trans YouTubers. If I did the math right, which I don't know, maybe I didn't, adding up all the subs from the 142 trans content creators, there's about 84 million people subscribed to trans YouTubers. Keep in mind some portion of those subbed might be one person shared between multiple channels, and thus it's kind of inaccurate and may boost up the numbers a ton, but still, that is 47 million subs away from beating Mr. Beast. It would be 3% of active YouTube users and 1% of all people in the world who would be subbed to a trans person. If true, that sounds kind of hopeful in a way. Someone check my math on this. To my knowledge, the most viewed video made by a trans person is NikkiTutorials' The Power of Makeup, which has 42 million views. This was before she was forced to come out, so everybody thought that she was cis. It makes me kind of sad to think that YouTubers' popularity may be capped just because of being trans. We are resilient though and shine despite it. Lots of those are trans-specific content creators. I don't want to be one, honestly, but I just can't help myself. There's some interesting ideas on transness I want to cover, but since I'm starting off with that, it's probably going to create an audience which wants that. Or, who knows, maybe this video won't get views. I put so much work into this video, please give me views. If I've learned anything from all this data, it's either to never mention it or just be open about it from the get-go. So, yeah, guys, I'm totally not trans. This isn't a coming out. Don't send my channel into decline, please. Maybe if I get the perfect voice, I'll disappear and try to stealth, but visibility of trans people is important in a time like this, and it lets the world know that we exist and we matter. Yeah, anyway, hope this information was interesting. I felt weird stalking everybody trying to figure it all out. I wonder if this is the most comprehensive list of trans YouTubers that exists. If I miss any trans YouTubers, I'm sorry. I'm not some sort of trans content watching machine. Maybe a lot of the dips after coming out are explained by transphobia, and maybe that triggers a cycle where YouTube promotes creators less. But at the same time, some people do just fine, and I hope the best for all of them. Was fun though. See y'all next time. I have some video ideas in the works.